contact with your child, and how are your adoptive parents at this point in time? Kind of washed out?
They're there, but they're not really there.
Yeah. Okay, so you're feeling alone. Again.
Yeah, it's just for the most part.
So what happens at that point in time, after you get out of prison and you're on parole?
I'm like, all right, I gotta pick myself back up.
Did you pick yourself up, or did you fall further down?
At the time I started allowing myself, picking myself back up, but I probably was falling further down.
And is this when substance abuse came into the picture?
Yeah, substance abuse really came in the picture after I got into an automobile accident when I was 20 years old.
And so there was substance abuse while you had your real estate license?
No, after I got my accident. And then when I got my accident, my corporate insurance was not happy to pay for my...
Is this before prison or after?
Before prison.
How long?
Well, probably about like 4 years.
So during the time that you were active realtor, you started substance abuse?
No.
No, so I've lost this timeline then. Okay, so you became a real estate agent. You got your license. This is...
Real estate license. I got my real estate license. Started doing home sales, and I started leasing all kind of mini homes.
Okay, for 7 years.
Yeah, kind of mini homes at...
Then you caught a case.
Yeah, then
when did the accident happen?
Well, this is...
between the case and...
After I got my real estate license, but before I got my case.
Okay, you started getting into substance abuse.
No, after I got into my accident.
I understand that.
Yeah, that's my...
But before prison, you started your substance abuse. You started substance abuse due to this accident. Your insurance wasn't covering your medical for whatever reason. But substance abuse came into the picture, so could have had a big factor also on maybe your work. Did your work fall short at that time, start to fall short?
No, it was just the fact that my want to work.
Your desire to work.
Yeah, because I was like, man, I got my accident. I started using drugs here and there, and I was getting paid like X amount of dollars a month. It was like, man, I don't have to work at all, and I'm getting, because I made professional wages when I was working, so I got paid like the highest bracket of disability. So I'm like,
it made drugs very easy, huh?
Yeah, $2 grand a month for free.
So now drugs are having an effect, and you're on a downward spiral and don't even realize it, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, because methamphetamines is no joke.
Yeah.
Is that what's your first choice of drug, or?
Yeah, probably.
What did you start using after the accident?
Meth.
Okay, so now we're on meth, where our job is slowly fading, and you would get in the we have already gotten the accident, and now we're helping out a friend or a situation, and we end up catching a violent case.
Right.
So now we're sent to prison. We do 2 years, a little over 2 years out of that 3 years that are sentenced. You get out. While you're on parole, did you get violated or sent back?
That time I got violated. No, that time I didn't get violated. No times.
So you ended up catching another case to go back up.
I have 2 numbers.
So so you actually discharged your number.
Yeah, and then the second time I violated 17 times, but that's a whole different.
Okay, yeah. So are both these cases violent cases?
The second one, no.
No. And while you were on parole, were you testing dirty, and was it hard to get off parole?
The first time, no.
What was your housing situation like?
It was sometimes it was THU, so then my parole agent was always on up and up about.
So housing became a big issue right around then, huh?
Yeah, he always made sure he tried to help out as he could.
But their hands are kind of there's not. I mean, as many resources as that we have, or the money that we have, if they would be maybe divvied out to one organization, and then they can help with housing. By the time it goes through, 12 different organizations, I mean, it gets to the client, and the client gets $5, and that's an exaggeration, but it's just bullshit. It's bullshit. Housing's been a problem. So before your second case, after you went to prison, housing became a problem.
It's lightweight, yeah.
Yeah. Did you ever have your own place from that point on?
No.
No, it's just I can relate, brother. I can relate.
Trap house. Trying to live there, get my stuff stolen.
Can't even get off drugs because the only place you can go is where the people are doing drugs, right?
Yeah, they're the only ones who accept you.
Yeah, it's a vicious cycle, and people don't understand that are not in that situation.
Yeah, that's crazy. Real.
So you were homeless for quite a long time.
Yeah, quite a long time.
How, a decade?
So over that.
And that sucks when you have to go to your friends, or you see your friends accept. It sucks because you know how smart you are and how capable you are,
Yeah.
and why can't you get a break, right?
Yeah.
Can I know that feeling. So
Sometimes this is just the only thing that holds you back. You know what I'm saying?
your color,
Yeah.
yeah, and you know, because once you're homeless, when I was doing that communications class, that was what our topic was: is relearning how to communicate and integrate ourselves back into society. Because society didn't kick us out; we stepped out because we got caught up on drugs or what have you, you know. And then our race. I mean, we ran with every friggin' possibility or excuse we can. We acted a fool because they acted a fool,
Right.
rather than showing them, hey, I could have your job. You don't know who I am. We instead colored in the picture that they painted of us
Right.
because of our personal shame, which is really, it's hard because you get stigmatized by what people think about homeless people. Everybody is capable or could lose their home at any time. People don't realize
Everybody's
that.
just one mistake
Okay,
away.
yeah, not all of us have that rich daddy or the moms that will take us right in. We have to fend for our own.
Exactly.
And it's hard out there, and once you get out there, sometimes it's easier to stay stuck out there. You
Yeah.
lose track of time.
Yeah, you get caught in a downward spiral, and next thing you know, it's just.
So how were you able to move into this place?
Well, you know what? I was in jail, and I seen the case manager for this agency, and I told him, look, man, I heard they're giving out housing nowadays. How do I get on that list? He was like, if you're interested, I'll bring back a lady on Tuesday, give her an interview, give you an interview right here, and I'm like, for real?
And it happened like that?
It happened just like that.
God was opening doors for
I
you,
took
huh?
the test when I was in jail in March. I found out I got housing in May when I called my friend. I was like, hey man, somebody called for you. He said they got housing for you downtown. I said, oh, cool.
That's crazy. That's how I heard about
I
it. They
got
were
out-
out looking for me at the
I
campus.
got out June 5th. So I got out knowing I had housing, but I didn't move it.
During this time, you're in jail and you're thinking, God, finally, after all, I'm going to have my own place.
Yeah, my own spot.
Again.
Yeah.
I'm having a second chance. Were you excited? Did you think about things you were going to do different when you got out?
Yeah, only thing I thought about was how many people I'm going to be able to help. And you know
That's
what?
the first thing all of us think.
I was like, you know what? I'll be able to help out my friend. Because she let me stay in her car.
Did you ever think about how you were going to help yourself out? What you were going to do different?
I just knew I was going to let go and let God. I know that through Him all things are possible. So,
Praise God.
um,
So now let's move forward. It was quite a fiasco moving in here. Now that you moved in here, I know you envisioned it to be a place to retreat and help others and be helped and to help yourself. Instead, what has happened since you moved here?
well, you know what? Instead, what has happened? Well, you know, this place is basically ran by the police. I'm saying, luckily, God willing, I'm not on probation anymore. But when I first moved in here, I was on probation, and my reality was a whole lot different than what it is right now. So when I first moved in here, it was the police action was very, very.
Were you doing things that called for police action in all reality?
In all reality, no, I held down a job a lot of the time, but I would just get
You're still dabbling.
I would just get missed court date or something like that. And the
Yeah.
police would,
Right here on it, huh?
yeah.
How would you describe this place? Do you think that this place is someplace that can help people?
You know what? Honestly, the help is there, but the tenant has to really go put forth the effort. You know what I'm saying?
Extra.
Yeah, the case managers here don't reach out and help you work shit at all.
And what do you think about the management aside from the case managers?
It's like they go out of their way to find something wrong with what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Now I understand that you got to manage a building and whatever and what have you. Fine, granted, but don't go out of your way to, you know what I'm saying, if my guests are already inside, you know what I'm saying, regardless of how ever they got in, if any
Yeah,
one of
they
my
did it.
friends knock on my door, I'm gonna let them in. If you come up and hey, who's that in your house? Why are you looking at my door in the first place?
Hmm.
Why are you worried about that? They're in my care right now. Now, if something happens when I'm with them here, all right, fine, ran me. But if it's like
Yeah, it's just too much
it's
sometimes.
like
So, what do you plan for your future? How are you going to change things so that you don't end up back in prison or jail?
um uh,
Do you have plans?
slow play.
Do you have any goals, short-term goals?
Short term goals is just make it tomorrow. Not playing. Um,
You got a lot of personality. Have you ever thought about being a mentor, getting your shit together, getting clean, and maybe helping youth that have been through what you've been through? Because you've got a quite a story. It's a strong story, and there's a lot of maybe young boys, young girls that have experienced close to what you've experienced that could use a little support. Or have you ever thought about that, or even being a probation mentor, peer mentor?
I thought about something like that, but um, I'm just gonna take the day at a time and let God work it out.
Yeah. Well, God's more than willing to work it out, but sometimes He keeps on sending us. Have you heard about that joke where the guy's out in the ocean
Oh
and
yeah,
his boat's going down,
yeah.
and his boat starts going down, and then another boat comes by. Hey, your boat's sinking. He says, "No, I've been a faithful servant of God all my life." He says, "My God will not fail me. He's going to save me." He said, "Your boat's going down. You should grab this rope." He said, "No. I've been a faithful God servant." That boat leaves. Another boat comes, says, "Hey," now the boat's like really sinking and it's tipping. He says, "No, I've been a faithful servant of God all my life. My God will not fail me." He says, come on, you can jump in. We'll pull your boat." He says, "No." Well, now the boat has almost completely sunk. He's up on the sail, and they've sent a helicopter, and they're the rescue. They're dropping down the ladder. They said, "Grab the ladder. You cannot save your boat. Get the ladder. You're gonna die." He says, "No, I've been a faithful servant of God all my life. There's no way He's going to fail me." Well, he would not grab the rope. Well, the boat went down the ocean. He went down and he died. So he's up at the pearly gates, right? And before St. Christopher's checking him in, he says, "No, I got to talk to God first before we go any further." And he says, "Nope, nope. You can talk to Him after you get in." He says, "Nope, God, you need to come down here. We got a crazy one down here." And God comes down. "What is it, my child?" He says, "I just want to know. I've dedicated every day of my life to you. I've been a faithful servant. Why would you forsake me?" He said, "What are you talking about? I sent 3 boats and a helicopter, and you still refused my hand." Think about that. Because a lot of times we don't... He was not seeing that as God coming to help him.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of tools around us that sometimes we don't utilize, or people that God has put in our paths, or however you want to interpret it.
Right.
So I just want to give that little bit of insight. Is there anything that you would say to anybody that is struggling like you, or you're quite strong. I'm glad that we had this little time to talk, and I'd like to talk to you again on another, after I get a few shows up.
Okay.
But I am impressed at how you still have so much light in your eyes, and you're a very strong individual, and you're very special, and don't think at all that any of those things were your fault.
No, no, no.
Okay.
I know that there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and I mean, before it gets easy, it always gets bad first.
I was born under a cloud, honey. I know. And it's just, it sometimes seems, why? Okay, you got me screwed up with the other brown girl, God.
Yeah,
I got my issue from you. Can you give me a break?
Yeah.
It feels like that a lot sometimes. And it took me a lot of years. I'm 51 years old. It took me a lot of years to get to this point, to realize that I'm not alone in my struggles, that we all have them. And that's the whole point of this show, is to help people that maybe they're not having the same struggles we have, but they're having struggles.